Yep. This is a discussion for what we're going to begin to research for the spaghetti western film. Now, as for a reference, I can suggest that we look at some spaghetti western films like old Clint Eastwood films.
Blazing Saddles is a pretty good shout because
Yeah.
it's a spaghetti western spoof that was filmed in the 80s or 70s, I think.
Yeah, we could also look at Quentin Tarantino as well because his filming style is very kind of like spaghetti, westerny.
Like
Yeah.
Kill Bill.
Yeah.
Was very spaghetti.
Very
western.
stylized as well because we want to look for like stylized as well because spaghetti westerns very stylized with their shots and the way the
Comedic ways, we could also look at A Million Ways to Die in the West as well.
yeah, that's a good thing to do. Both comedic actors. Anyone got any other suggestions like
What
research in
about,
terms of interviews?
What about like primary research? Like, are we going to do it as a group or are we going to do them individual? Because I was thinking more like do the questionnaires individual or do them as a group if you want. I will personally do mine individual, but then do like a focus group as a group because I think we could all then contribute to people, to finding and sourcing people to be in that focus group. Or we can do all our primary research.
One question I have is who would we interview in like outside of would we like interview prop makers or would we interview like
We will be interviewing people like an audience member, or we could interview someone professionally as
It
well.
depends on what you're supposed what you're like aiming to find out.
Like-
I suppose.
yeah but it's
But
the
we need to
question of
decide
what
if
we
we're doing it as a group or if we're doing it separate.
I'd rather do it as a group.
See, I would rather do it separate.
Yeah, because if we do it separate, we can ask different questions.
And we're going to find out more overall.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm
Yeah,
happy
but
to do some form of
I-
primary research as a group, but for me,
I feel like if we're going to do primary research individually, can we all find something different to work at, like to find primarily, so that we can find, for example, say you were looking for.
well, I know an expert at like in the actual like
Film industry.
film like the films like he has watched probably every Western film that there has ever been. So I would be happy to interview him and ask him about characters, like the kind of things he sees in there, and like what he would expect, and what would be a new element that we could potentially add in, and that kind of thing. So, and like if you guys want to give me questions to
I
ask.
know people that have worked on sets of like high-end movies.
So you could ask them the kind of thing like what advice they would give us, or like what they use and what they do, and
Yeah.
like, I think we could all
See,
do
why
it
I'm
individually.
saying to do group is because if we do it separately, we might come back with the same answers.
Information.
I
Whereas,
know, but that's why
whereas-
we're sorting
whereas-
out here.
whereas if we do it as a group all together, and like we're all there, so we know what's been asked and what hasn't been asked, so we can contribute and think about what questions can be asked.
Yeah, but we just communicate and tell each other what we're finding
Like
out.
we could do part individual like questionnaires, handing that out, and then for like the stuff with the interview with that expert and interview with people who've worked on set, we could provide questions.
Yeah, and we can share like the information we get, obviously.
Yeah, and that would be the group work.
Yeah.
So questionnaire for a personal questionnaire asking different questions. Like we could focus on different things. Like someone could focus on the costumes, someone could focus on the music, someone could focus on the shots, someone could focus on the dialogue.
Yeah.
And thus we could get a lot back from it. But then once all that's gathered, we have a focus group once all that's gathered, we could then go and sort out arranging interviews with your expert and people who have worked on the set, and we will all work together and provide some questions for them.
So I reckon me and you sort out the interviews,
Mm-hmm.
and they obviously give us questions, so it's group work, and then we ask you to source and find people for the focus group, and we give you questions. Obviously, we'll be there to help
Okay.
you out with the focus group. Like, we're not gonna leave you to do it, but if they source the people,
Yeah.
then that's kind of more fair than. Like, and obviously, you'll get all the information from our interviews, and it will all be
With the
shared.
focus group though, again, we're gonna have. I don't know how we're going to do. Like, if we're going to do a focus group with random people, because we're going to be asking them to come to college to do the focus group.
But we can find people within college who
Obviously,
enjoy those
yeah.
kind of
We
films.
would
sorry.
also need to look up target markets of that sort of thing,
Yeah.
so we can find a focus group under the correct age that we're
Yeah.
looking for.
With that, That would be for. I think that's more of a secondary thing.
No, I think if we find the target market first, before finding the focus group, then what we can do is we can use the knowledge we have of the target market to pick people up for the focus group, so we can work out if they actually like the idea or not.
Yeah.
Well, we could ask some of the level ones, level 3 year ones.
Yeah.
But that depends on if they're in our target market or not, because our target market could be 35. We don't know, because Clint Eastwood films were way back when.
Yeah, but what was A Million Ways to Die in the West?
Yeah, exactly. So what we should do is look up the viewing figures of A Million Ways to Die in the West. Look at who went to go see it, male, female, the age that they were, etc. And then from there, pick out our demographic and look at the focus groups and pick out people based on that.
Okay, so as far as we know, secondary research,
We can do that. by
we can
ourselves.
do that by ourselves. Primary, it's going to be more of a group. You guys are focusing on looking at get
Interviews.
interviews with.
So what is it that we're looking at ourselves? That's
So
secondary.
secondary is like finding out what you need to know. So like looking into other films in the same genre and like the target audience, like we said, and that kind of thing.
For primary, what we're doing is we're looking for a focus group.
Yeah.
Yeah. So before you find the focus group, make sure you find the target market first. I think that's key, because if
Yeah.
we can find the correct people for the focus group, then we aren't spending time with the wrong people in the.
But we
focus
have to
group.
remember that we're also doing like a twist on it. So
Yeah.
it's like, although we obviously think in our heads like Clint Eastwood films were
Yeah,
like
yeah.
made way back when,
Yeah.
we're also like looking into like mixing in stuff from now.
Yeah. So I think the best thing is to look at the figures of A Million Ways to
Yeah.
Die in the West and that kind of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm
And then
just
we all do
who
separate.
reviewed it higher,
um,
etc.
I'm just a little worried
Visualise.
with the focus group type thing, because again, we could look around, we could do all the figures and everything, get it all sorted, but then when we go to arrange the focus group, we barely get anything. That's one thing I'm looking for, because college and everything, the type of people that watch the films are only going to be around in the media and arts department.
Well, that's fine. We just find people
Yeah,
in the media department. Because we know we can source them, and that's
we could either ask Tracy.
yeah. So
So we'll start looking on the figures for the Spaghetti West, for
The
A Million
spoof,
Ways, yeah, spoof type
spaghetti
stuff.
westerns.
And then we'll start writing up questions to go into focus group, and you guys are going to write up questions to ask your.
the interview.
If I can't get hold of my person, I'll keep looking around the internet, see if I can find anyone who works on a set and try and interview
Yeah.
them.
Yeah.
Yeah. Cool.
Okay, that's all.
And just start secondary research as soon as possible. Whatever.
Yeah, as soon as possible. And as soon
Whenever.
as that's out the way, as soon as we get secondary research done, it's straight into writing the script.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. All sorted? Yep.